Hello, hello, and welcome back, Power Sisters. Dr. Anita Jackson here. I am so excited for our very last interview for Power Her Success book. I get to interview to one of my best friends, one of the authors of this book, and someone who I know you're going to be so inspired by, as she and I are going to have this conversation about what does it mean for a woman to be powerful, and more specifically, power her sexiness. This is Pamela R. Garrison. She is a fantastic woman of God. She is an international best-selling author. She is an international speaker. She is a women's empowerment coach. She's a minister. She's a woman who has literally changed lives around the world. And she's here today to help you as a woman get into your power as you access your sexiness. And I get to actually share my best friend with you. And I say that with you because we talk literally every single day we actually just said to each other, we may have to kind of curtail this. We're getting kind of busy. We're going to have to go from 3 hours to maybe an hour. And we're like, yeah. No, that's we can't. I don't think, as much as we like planning this, I don't think that'll ever happen. There's just so much going on. And I know you're going to love our conversation. So Pamela, thank you so much for being here with us. I know you've got a very busy schedule, and I know that you're making a difference in the lives of women around the world. And I'm truly honored that you're spending this time with me, as well as with all our women who are going to be watching this episode today.
I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting. The women, the lives that we get to impact and just make a difference in. So it's always exciting when change is happening. Always.
That's right. So let's have people meet you a little bit more. I know I just gave you a quick rundown of who you are, but I really would love to have you kind of introduce yourself, tell the women a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and how you show up in the world, and what you do in helping women really step into the power of their sexiness.
Well, hello. Once again, I am Pamela R. Garrison, AKA sometimes known as a bubble therapist. And, your sexiness cultivator is the lane we're in right now. And I just love it because I get to help women come out of the stigma and the trauma of religion and other life issues and really hone into the woman that God has called them to be. So that has been right now my passion, just to see it unfold and develop and just watch women grow and show up as themselves, being comfortable in their own skin and just owning all their brilliance, all their sexiness, all their sensuality, everything that God has put in us, all of our genius, and just showing up as a complete whole woman, unapologetically, I might add, not making any, just be.
I actually wore, it's so funny because, Pamela and I are probably going to go off script in a lot of ways because that's just who we are. So just be prepared for whatever comes out of us is going to come out of us, because we do definitely keep ourselves open to be used as a vessel to allow God to move through us and as us and through us. And so I knew she was going to be talking about this. So I pulled out my sexiest little outfit. Do you like it? Do you like it? And I also pulled out her favorite color, yellow. See her feet, yellow. And I'm like, oh, we're going to be very intentional about this. And here's the reason why I think this is so powerful, is because sometimes we as women get so caught up in the routine of doing things the way everyone tells us how to do things, instead of just being ourselves and really showing up in the power of who we are authentically. And so Pamela's one who keeps me in stitches. I have to admit, I laugh a lot with her. So I'm like, I'm going to live a long time just because Pamela keeps me in stitches. We're very much a lot alike. And I know that you're going to be inspired and empowered through our conversation. So Pamela, the first question I want to bring forward to you is, what is power? And why should women really pay attention to having this in their life?
See, power, by my definition, power is the ability to really receive yourself and walk in it. So it is that self-acceptance, is being aware of yourself. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then accepting who you really are, and then being assured of all of your strengths and all of your weaknesses, so that when things happen in life, you're walking in that straight. You have the power just really exudes, because a lot of people like to say, oh, your power, but it's really just taking ownership of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So
Ladies,
that's
I'm
the power.
hearing that theme to every single conversation in one way or another. Each of these authors, each of these experts have told you that being in your power means being true to yourself. Truly, truly owning that power like never before. And I absolutely love this. So when I got a chance to read Pamela's, there's quite a few quotes she has in here that I just thought were pretty powerful. And I definitely want her to talk about her 3 phases. She's got 3 phases in the book, and I want to know which one out of the phases do you think is the most important? So Pamela, would you share that? What are the 3 phases that you want to talk about as
So
a part of a woman being in the power of her sexiness?
yes, the 3 phases. The first phase is being self-aware. And self-awareness pretty much alludes to you're aware of your strengths. You are aware of things that you may fear. You are aware of things that make you excited. But then what are you doing about it? See, there's the awareness. I'm aware. I'm aware that this makes me happy. I'm aware.
She's in
I'm
her
aware.
element now. You let her speak and that's it. I could just sit here and just like, have at it, Pamela.
I'm aware. I'm aware that if I eat this whole chocolate cake,
this is not gonna be good later on.
Wait.
Wait. If I drink this whole bottle of Stella,
I'm aware. We are aware. So a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know that. No, you are aware that if you take a certain action, whole bottle of Stella Rosa, you're gonna have some consequences. You are aware of the way in which it may cause you to act or respond. So that's that self-awareness, just being aware of who you are as a person and some of the things that you may or may not do. And Anita will tell you, because one of my favorite things I say, I can't do jail.
So she's the one who makes sure I don't go to jail by saying, Anita, I can't do jail. And I'm like, I can't do jail either, but still.
So I am aware that if I get so angry that I lose control of myself and hurt somebody, the consequence may be jail. So if you think about the consequence before you take the action, it'll change your thoughts.
Well, not only that, which is a very powerful statement, by being really aware of all of your emotions, you're good, you're bad, you're ugly, and when you're gonna, pop off to the left side that you can end up being in jail because, like Pamela said, we can't do jail. And my comment right now is like, I don't have enough bail to get you out. So don't do jail. I don't have enough in my savings to get you out. If I did, I said, no problem, I got you back. Because she'd know that. But being aware of where you're losing your power. Where are you losing or releasing your power? And if you are aware of it, you can hold on to it more dynamically. Wouldn't you say, Pamela?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. Because with that awareness, knowing how you may react. So knowing that a certain thing will upset me and I'm about to get all just in my anger and allow this anger to take over to where there's no reasoning with me, that type of thing. I am very much aware that I just gave my power to whatever the situation is. So now the situation is controlling me and I'm not controlling it.
Yeah,
and
whether
so
it's love or food or money or any aspect of our life, if you're not aware of where your limits are, and if one of the conversations Pamela had and I had today was, if that limit is there and we don't push past it, then we don't grow. We can't go into that next level to be the one we're supposed to be if we're constantly sabotaging. That's the word I was using.
Yeah.
Like, when you let go of your power, you unconsciously sabotage yourself. Do you realize that? Yeah, you end up sabotaging yourself from moving forward and having the kind of success that you really want in your life.
And it's actually another way to look at it. You start to shrink. You're shrinking from the growth. You start to shrink back as opposed to rising up.
Yeah.
And so you start shrinking away from.
So then you're hiding, and then you're you're hiding and you're shrinking and you're playing small. That's the word I was looking for. You start to play really small, and then that's going to impact what comes into your life.
Absolutely. I agree.
So then the next phase is what?
Self-acceptance. So self-acceptance, that is being aware. And then now you're going to make peace with yourself. It's like, this is how I'm wired. This is how God made me. This is how the creator made me. He knows all about me. He knows my quirky sense of humor. He knows all them different little thoughts you have going on in your head. It's like, nothing takes God by surprise. It's like he knows how I'm wired. And so it's accepting self. I accept that I might not like everything I see in the mirror, but it's mine.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to accept that. And the moment you get self-acceptance, oh my goodness, then you're now teaching other people how to accept you.
And I think more freedom comes in that, because I have to admit, sometimes you can be really highly educated. I think all of you know by now that I have a background as a psychologist, and sometimes you can be so highly educated that you're actually stupid. And I'll even say I have a couple of friends that I love and they love me, and I let them say this because I'll agree at times where I could be the smartest dumb person in the room. And I'm like, yeah, in some areas, there's very few areas that I can say that that's true. But sometimes when you've been raised a certain way, like Pamela and I both come from a very religious background, and we thank God for the background that we've got and the training that we've had. It's the foundation that we stand on. But we've also evolved over the years. So we're no longer under the dogma of religion, thank you, Jesus. And we understand universal laws. We understand universal principles. We understand frequency, energy, frequency, and vibration. We understand all that stuff in a very high level. And yet, one of the things that Pamela has really taught me in our 2-3 year sisterhood is this idea of acceptance and who you are in your sensuality. Because if you're coming from a church background, church would stone me for looking like, especially a Black church.
I see your shoulders, girl. I see your shoulders.
You're showing too much skin.
That's too much skin.
That is not what a woman of God's supposed to do. We're telling all our business, all how we raised up. And honestly, I wouldn't do it. This is one of the reasons why I wore it for her interview, because it took years for me to break through. And then you've got to have, this is what I love about Power Her Success Alliance, Power Her Success Club, is that we've got women who are here to help sharpen you and help hold your hand and help mentor you into a new version of yourself. So Pamela has been that for me when it comes to my own sensuality and my sexuality. This is why this chapter is so powerful, because she really helped me understand. And that was her phrase I'm giggling because the first thing, she said something out loud in one of our first conversations that we met. And I knew she had a background in ministry. I knew she had been a minister and traveling around the world speaking for years. And she said something along the lines of sensuality and sexuality. And I went, you said that out loud? Like, wait, I had always thought it, but you said it out loud in regards to God already knows how he created you in your sensuality and sexuality. It's okay to express that. And within the church, that had never been said. So
we'd have been stoned for thoughts. Oh, you think it?
How dare you think you can have sensuality and sexuality?
Yeah.
And it was me saying, I had these thoughts, but I had no one around confirming that what I was hearing, what I was sensing, what God was really trying to get into my heart, I wasn't able to accept it because it went against everything that I had been taught. So to finally meet someone who came in and said exactly what I was thinking, it was the confirmation I think God was bringing. And that's what Pamela does, is she says phrases, these one-liners that really, like, I steal from her on a regular. You've heard me, and at least in our club, I have stolen many of her one-liners because they're so good. Like, she'll say something like, broke ain't sexy.
broke is not sexy.
It's not.
It's not. Broke is not sexy. I don't care how you look at it.
It's just, it's not.
You're not trying to wear nothing cute because you can't go buy nothing good. You can't get all your makeup good. You can't even get your backup hair. You got to get your, cheaper hair. You're not feeling real sexy when you're broke. You just not. It's like
it doesn't work.
If you're gonna eat today, it's gonna be a meal. There's nothing. And then because you're so stressed out about being broke, then you get that migraine. That headache that comes along with the hunger pain. And all of this.
Don't tell my story.
There's nothing sexy about broke. It's like,
or about being sick, or about being out of balance.
and
About
that's the other part. Sick is not sexy.
six is not sick.
Because when you are sick, you got all these symptoms going on. You're feeling all of these, the stress and anxiety of everything that you have operating in your body. Your body is communicating to you.
Yeah.
Sick is not sexy, because there's nothing about being sick that makes you want to go and stand and put on some lingerie, or you don't want to be bothered with people. It's like, get out of my presence, get out of my face. And we were created to be relational. We
Yes.
were never created to be alone.
Alone,
And so
right.
when we are broke, when we are sick, those type of things, you tend to isolate.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the world to see, or even
You don't
people
want to
close.
bother anybody.
Don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to let anybody know I'm going through this, when the truth of the matter is the person right next to you may be going through the same thing. But the trick comes in the silence.
Yes.
When it's like, I'm not going to tell people. But most of the time, if you are around people like Empower Her Success Club, then we can discern. We know, we can see you. This is why you will
We
get
pay
a message
attention.
from somebody.
We're very
You may
aware.
get something in your little inbox or something like, are you sure you're okay, sis?
doing?
I see
What's
you.
going on? I'm
Because
sensing something. Yeah.
we can see that. And no, it's not sexy. We stand sexy and strong when we fully embrace our strength, when we fully are taking care of ourselves, and you just feel good in your own skin. That's when you're glowing.
And then you're in a community that celebrates that within you. That's
Yes.
what Power Success Alliance as a whole company, and how we work with personal development and corporate development women. And then this is what's happening in Power Success Club. And you're going to hear this in every single chapter of our book, is that every single woman is constantly calling you forward to be in community, to be with women who are going to iron that sharpens iron, and helps you see yourself as the woman you want to see yourself as, and then holding you accountable to that truth as your absolute truth, unapologetically,
Right.
just like Pamela said earlier.
Right.
And that's what's on my heart. When this whole pandemic hit, and you've heard me say this throughout every single interview, is that I saw these amazing women who originally, before the pandemic hit, were strong, were clear, were grounded. And then all of a sudden, because there was so much uncertainty on the outside, they were falling apart. And I guess because of the psychologist in me and how my personality works, that when everyone else falls apart, I tend to step into the leadership position. So I'm already saying, don't lose your power over this, because that means you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on what mother has said, or dad has said, or what the world has said, or what experiences you've had, rather than focusing on what your truth is. This is why the 3 phases that Pamela's talking about, and how we're talking about the third one in a second, is so crucial. So the first one, again, was self-awareness. The second one is self-acceptance. What's the third phase?
Self-assured.
Self-assured. Talk about that. Why should we as women be self-assured, and why is this part of our power?
Self-assured is that evolved woman. That's the one. Evolved. She has been through some things.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Through some things. She's been aware. She's accepted who she is, her shortcomings, her strengths, and what have you. But she's been through some things. And it's nothing like life. Life happens to everybody.
Yes.
And so when you have overcome some things that was meant to take you out of this world, when you have consistently overcome, every time something is thrown at you and the resilience in you arrives,
yes,
that self-assurance is going to grow. Because see, now I know that that was tried on me back in 2000 and whatever. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now.
I know that's
So
right.
the self-assured person walks in a stronger confidence, again, because of the trials, the different things that's been experienced in life. And I'm still standing. Yeah. She's still standing to tell you about it today. And now I can give you the steps. Here's what I've used to get me from point A to point B. And it has worked consistently.
Yeah.
So now the self-assuredness, really that strong confidence is like, you can't tell me it doesn't work now, because it's been proven over and over and over again. So when you are self-assured about something in your life, no one can change your mind about it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much no, this is going to work.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, just sit back and watch. And
So,
so just go ahead.
well, I was just going to say that because, within each of the phases that Pamela has, self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-assured, there are additional steps within each one to help you continue to strengthen each of these areas. There's a few phrases that you said in the book your chapter that I just thought, hey, let's talk about this because this is really powerful. One, you talked about sexiness. Define sexiness. What is sexiness and why is it necessary for a woman to own that as a part of her power?
Well, God created us as women.
Yeah.
And that's the first part. We are women. And we exude all of this beauty and all of everything that God has created. And I always say that because, when you speak to women, women always finding fault with themselves. We always seeing with some dirty lenses like, oh my God, my chin is too big. And look at my arms and look at this.
Look at my
I
wings.
just wish
Look at my
this
booty.
and that weight and all this type of thing. And yet,
Talk about Pamela.
huh?
What you talking about? Who you talking about?
And a woman will turn around. Oh my God, did you see the sunrise? And did you see the way the sun hit the water? And look at the mountains. They were so beautiful. Look at what the Lord has made. And this is where I have to go, but God made you. That's where it gets a little quiet. But you see the beauty in the earth, in the flowers, in the trees, and the insects.
For somebody else.
For somebody else, or even, in somebody else. And then you look in the mirror and you find fault.
Yeah.
So see, your sexiness, that part, the dictionary like to keep it as a general definition to put it on your beauty and something that is beautiful or bodacious and awesome, and it has all those descriptive words on it. But when we get down to the root of it, because a lot of women, as I find myself teaching this on all about being sexy, a lot of women, you say sexy and sexiness, and the first thought is sex.
Yeah.
And this is not about the sex.
That's right.
It's about the Y, the U. It is about the you. Even in sexiness, it's sex, and then there's the letter I. It's all about you. So I and my ness, so my sex, you're right in the middle. See, when you look at the word sexiness, you see sex, S-E-X, then the letter I, and then you see ness, N-E-S-S, right? And so you just got to think about my sex and my nest is just what's in my nest over
the
here.
Center. Okay, so see, I didn't even know that she was gonna pull that out.
That just came out. We can speak right by way of Holy Spirit.
That's just one-liners that come out like, oh, that's really good. I never thought. That's really good that you got sex, you have I, you have nest, and you're in the center, and you're surrounded by all of the essence of who you are when you own you. That's where power is. That makes so much sense. That's a good one. That needs to be a hashtag.
Okay.
Sex, I, nest.
Sex, I don't know how you hashtagging it because look, because it's gonna separate when you.
I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Like, ooh, that's a good one.
And it's just really, again, it's back to ownership, because a lot of us as women, we take on all these different titles.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the mom, we're the CEO, we the auntie, we the nana, we get all the titles. We have all the titles and positions that we feel. And what happens is that the woman in us is screaming, like, what about me? Can I go and get some love today? And I don't mean love as in with a partner, even though you can get to that phase. I'm just talking about your self-love right now. The things that light you up, the things that make you happy. When do you make the time to go sit by the ocean, Michelle?
So that's one of you met Michelle earlier on, and she's a part of our executive team. So, and she's a beach lover for sure.
Look, Michelle, hashtag Michelle.
Michelle.
Right, you going.
And Siobhan too. She's another one who goes to the beach quite a bit.
Because they live by the water, but that's that self-care, because they know what it opens up for them and how it calms their psyche and brings them peace. Yes. And then you can feel all of your sensuality and sexuality. You can feel it just flowing through you. It's all about feeling great, feeling
It's this
good.
essence.
And that whole essence of just you,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I in the middle of the sex in your nest.
So I really like that, but now I want to pull up this other passage that you said.
Okay.
I actually highlighted it because I thought it was so good. Trying to make sure I read. So you said, call me what you will. I realize that I'm the only one that can put a stamp of approval on who I am. If what you are being called does not align with how you identify yourself as a person, do not answer. Talk about why that statement is so powerful. There was a story that she shared, and then she had that statement. I'm like, that I think women need to like underline, highlight, and really understand to own their power.
Yes. Because even so, and I'm not going to share the story I shared there because you got to read the book. But anyway, we're not going to tell you everything, but we're going to give you some juicy, juicy highlights. And I can put that one this way, especially as women, you're working all the time. And if you've ever been around some messy women that like to gossip and, oh my gosh, she's a bee, she's a this and whatever. They're calling you, she don't care about people because, people always have an opinion and people always have something to say about you and whatever you're doing. That whole point right there is if what people are saying about you doesn't align with how you see you, then don't answer. So if you call me Jill, you look at me and you call me Jill and you constantly calling me Jill, I'm not going to answer you because that's not my name.
Right.
My name is Pamela. And so you have to look at it the same way. So if somebody's calling you Jill and your name is not Jill, that's not what you identify with, then why would I sit here just because you in my face and called me Jill 5 times? Why would I sit here and go, yes, no, right. I'm not Jill. That's not who I am. And so until you recognize who I am, I will never answer you.
And why I thought that was so powerful is I think the world is continually trying to tell women who we are and what we should do and what we can have. And in that, we have unconsciously allowed that to seep in to some degree, especially if you're a woman of color, whether you're Black, Latina, or Asian. We've had other things put upon us that makes us redefine who we are as women. And I think that's why the feminine energy hasn't been in the place where it needs to be, but we're waking up, thank God. And we're now having these kinds of teachers like you who are telling us, you get to define yourself now. You get to define who you are as a woman, and any other description that doesn't align with it takes away your power.
Yes.
So this book is about calling you back to your power, right, which means calling you back to yourself. So there's another statement. So in the book, you'll find that, Pamela talks about self-awareness, self-acceptance equals self-assurance. And then she says this statement, because I want you to talk about it. Self-assured women exude sexiness with high confidence because, quote, they now trust and accept their skills and abilities as well as their weakness. The self-assured woman takes accountability and is in complete control of the direction of her life. Talk to us about that.
Yes, because when you get in that, again, self-assured, you've been through some things, you've learned some things on the journey. So now, and that is the thing, and that's part of the process, is taking accountability for our own actions and then understanding where you're headed, seeing the vision of your life and taking ownership of that. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm headed. This is where I'm going. And you're taking full ownership of it. So now recognizing that here's my areas, and I love to throw out the SWOT analysis in personal life.
She knows how much I love SWOT analysis.
That little SWOT thing, them strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Yeah. So the strength uh, a self-assured woman, I know exactly where the strengths are. You know exactly where your weaknesses are. Here's what I have opportunity to improve. Go and get that team. Opportunity, opportunities, and then the threat. What am I threatened by? Because we are human.
Yeah.
What is it that make me feel a little insecure, and why? This is where we go deep.
Where I lose my power, where I let go.
Where am I giving my power away or losing it? Because I don't think we ever lose it. We give it away. You know what I mean? We give, because we're always in it. We have it. But there are some things that are arise in your life that make you put it down. And that's those areas where we're underdeveloped, because again, we all have our challenges. No one on this planet has arrived. Each one of us is dealing with something. Each one of us. We're stronger in some areas, weaker in others. But this is where you take the opportunity to grow. And this is where you constantly look at and reevaluate self to see, why am I threatened? Why does this threaten me? And then what work do I have to do?
And I think what's also important, there's a couple of reasons why I like that passage. Is one, she didn't say you have to take responsibility, because responsibility and accountability, although there's a lot of connections that they can overlap each other, they're actually very different. Most people tell you to take responsibility. I like that she said accountability, because accountability means I'm going to change something. I'm going to be accountable to actually changing something. I'm actually going to put it in a new direction. So that was number one. Number two, I had thought you said something.
Responsibility. I think it's where you had it.
No, it was the threat. It was the threat.
Oh.
Because the SWOT analysis. So I'm a SWOT analysis freak. So I love everything strategic plan. And when you have a SWOT analysis for your personal life as well as for your business, you can change anything when you really understand it. And being able to look at your own threats, look at your own strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats for your life allows you to keep your power rather than giving it away. And that's what I think so many women are not doing is, and then that's what I was going to say, thank you, Holy Spirit, was part of your healing and getting stronger and staying in your power is you've got to have the right community around you. The reason why I keep healing, the reason why Pamela keeps healing, the reason why we keep going from one level to the next, and we've actually done it in a short period of time together on so many levels, is because there is another person holding us accountable to like, even this morning. Let me just be really honest without telling you what the situation was. I was having a moment, and she lovingly, because I think it was 2 days ago she had her moment, and then now I'm having my moment. Wake up in the morning, I'm like, I've had it about that, and she goes, I'm having a moment because of this and that, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Because when you have someone else who's a part of the journey with you and holding you accountable and loving you, and they can, like she said very early on, we in the club discern, we're going to ask, we're going to be there for you to help you stay in your power. Then she literally helped shift me back into my power, helped me take back what I need to take responsibility for. And that's where maturity comes in, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
You get to mature, you get to heal, you get to mature, you get to step into that next level, because now you have wisdom. And I know wisdom is like your brand mark. That is your,
yes, it is.
Your foundational word that you talk about on a regular basis. Talk about how wisdom impacts a woman's power. I know that's not unscripted at all, but I know I want you to talk about it.
Like, I like wisdom.
I know you do. Wisdom.
We're going in that wheelhouse. Look, we're going in that wheelhouse. We like wisdom, and what comes to mind is the story, the scripture in the Bible. When you build in that house, you can't build your house on sand; it's gonna fall. And so, as you're,
I heard that before, right?
Right.
Yeah, this was said before. I'm telling you, all of these women had no idea what each
divine
one
alignment.
Say, but the alignment that we're all bringing in this book, almost everybody has said something along this line. I'm just
divine alignment, because you can't. You have to walk in wisdom. Is what I'm always saying, because and that's just simply finding what's the best way to do that. And there's safety in the multitude of counsel.
Yes.
Because the eye, Shakespeare, does not see itself.
Yes.
Does not see itself.
Shakespeare.
Right?
And you knew Shakespeare. Like, wait, what?
The eye does not see itself. So when you are in great company
Yeah.
of powerhouse women, there's others that are watching. And so as you are building, Sisters in Love is going to let you know, hey, sis, I got a few ideas for your business.
Right.
Hey, sis, I got a few ideas you might want to try because I knew you was going through this situation. And so in that multitude of counsel, you get to see different ways to do different things.
Yes.
And now you can walk in the wisdom because you're walking in the knowledge that you didn't have before.
That's
You're
right.
walking in the knowledge that you couldn't see with your own eyes, but you have other eyes around you that can see the whole scenario just a little bit different.
And help you avoid the pitfalls that we've already gone through so you can stay in your power.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Pamela and I could talk for hours, and we don't want to bore you guys. One day we'll have this accent.
Bored, you will not be.
That's true. I take that back. Cancel, clear. You will never be bored in our presence, ever.
Bored, you will not be.
Ever. We're not only are we really funny, but we're discerning, and we've been at restaurants and heard people talking and have interrupted the conversation, and they have said, oh my God, we're so glad that you came and talked to us. You were exactly what we needed. Just because we're always open to being in flow. We're always open to being in service, and because we hold each other accountable to our own growth and our own healing, us staying in our power allows us to be powerful in changing the lives of others. And I know that every single woman who reads our book, who's a part of our club, who's a part of the Alliance, who's a part of the programs that we're creating for next year to really help you come into our events, all of that stuff is going to change your life. And I'm going to be bold enough to say, I guarantee you. And my favorite phrase, I think most of you know, I used to be a marriage and family therapist and an organizational psychologist, which I still use that background quite a bit. And I've always said, give me 365 days and I'll change your life. I don't mean that arrogantly. I just know the assignment on my life. And then I hang around people who can do the same thing. Pamela is one who can do the same thing. Michelle, who's a part of this book, can do the same thing. Lori, who you've met. April, who you've met. Christine, who you've met. Dr. Gloria, who you've met. All of these women, Deanna, who you've met. All of these women who wrote a chapter in this book have the ability to change your life. Why? Because they've been through a few things and they've learned a few things and they have mastered their feminine and spiritual and energetic power to such a degree that now we're calling all of you to do the same thing, because 2023 is going to be off the hook for every woman who has an ear to hear, eyes to see, and is ready to walk in her power like never before. And she's ready to receive. So with that being said, Pamela, tell all the ladies how they wanted to get, if they want to get in contact with you, what's the best way that they can reach out to you?
Well, the best way to reach out, you can find me on Instagram at @I am_Pamela G. And then definitely Facebook community. We are there under Pamela Garrison. And if you want to be all up in the sexy zone, we have a group for that as well. So in the sexy zone, feel free. It's ladies only. I don't know who's watching this, but ladies only.
Right.
In the sexy
sexy zone with Pamela R. Garrison, by the way.
Yes, with Pamela R. Garrison on Facebook, and we'll answer some questions, and we'll let you in the door behind the red curtains so you can.
That's right. You want to be in there because she usually has this in the sexy zone experience that it's so much fun. I'm like, I can't even tell you. Like, women have been asking her, are we having another experience? It's time.
October.
It's time. We're gonna do it because
we definitely doing it for the holiday season.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. I'm telling you.
It's always fun.
So get into the zone. If you're not in the zone, be in the Power of Success. We will be promoting her events within our events for sure. And Pamela, as always, I love you. I thank God for you being in my life. I love you being a part of this book and sharing your expertise and wisdom. And ladies, just again, our book is going to be coming out September the 27th. We're very, very excited to have this book get into your hands. And if you haven't found a community that you want to be a part of, please look at not only Pamela's community, but my community, Power Her Success Club. And we're going to be offering so much more in the near future to really help you be the woman that you were designed to be. With that being said, Pamela and I, and all the authors in this book, we absolutely love you. We absolutely believe in you. We absolutely know that you were created to be a powerful woman in every area of your life, your business, your wealth, and so much more, so that you truly can change your family, change your community,
Yes,
and together we change the world. So much love. Thank you for
absolutely.
spending this last week with us, listening to all the interviews. Get your book,
Get your
share
book.
your book, and then stay connected to us. Much love. Bye, everybody.
Bye for now.